So here's a story of one of my medical emergencies from youth. Well, I put emergencies in quotes. So I was not the most attentive student. I did not like being in school. I did not like doing school work. I don't think there is any tools I can use. I need to specific flow in the topology. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and I think the only way to really get like professional results is to do that by hand. But yes, back to the story. I was not a very attentive student. I didn't like doing classwork, and one of my most difficult teachers that I had to deal with, or rather, who had to deal with me, was a teacher. I don't know if I should give their name. It was an English teacher in middle school. This was, oh shit, this must have been seventh grade, I want to say. So I didn't do really well because she was a hard ass and I was a smart ass. So our personalities collided a lot. And one day we have a presentation that we need to give in the English class that I, of course, am not prepared for. So I just kind of let somebody else do the work for me. And being that this class was after PE, I was very much not in a good headspace to do this kind of assignment. To get up and present in front of the class to do something that I hadn't even studied on. So on this particular day, if you're a part of the American school system, back in the early 2000s, I don't know if they still do this anymore, they had something called Pacers. And basically what it is you've got yourself let's imagine this is like the gym, right? Everybody lines up on one side of the gym and they're playing like music, and then every once in a while it'll throw a buzzer, and then everybody has to run from one side to the other, and we just do that over and over and over again until you gas out, basically, until everybody gets tired. I was not a jogger, I was a sprinter. I had giant massive legs growing up because I would always hike to school. I would always it's the old story. I walked uphill to school both ways. I walked to a non-Euclidean school. No, but I did really walk to school with a backpack full of books every day, so my legs were really beefy. I was really good at sprinting, but I was not good at pacing myself, so hence the name Pacers. So I always hated it. But one day, I pushed myself a little extra, and I did okay, but still I was completely gassed out by the end of the day. So we finished gym class, and then right after gym class is this teacher's is this English class, and I have to go and stand up and give a presentation. And I'm basically just standing there while one of the other classmates, the one who was actually did the whole thing, is reading off this thing that they wrote. And I'm just kind of just standing there, and as I'm standing there, all of a sudden I start feeling a little lightheaded. My vision starts to cloud and then starts to cone, and in my head I'm thinking, it didn't even occur to me that I should say, hey, I don't feel good. I literally didn't want to interrupt anything, so I just kind of just stood there, and I was just like, oh, this is weird. Oh, that's super weird. And as things just slowly got darker and darker, and the student's voice got quieter and quieter, and the next thing I know, as I'm standing there, just my entire vision just goes completely black. And then I hear a giant crash, and my vision comes back, and I'm laying on the floor with knocked over a bunch of desks. I'm just like completely splayed out on the floor, and everybody in the class is looking at me. I had essentially collapsed in the middle of this presentation. My best friend to this day, his mom was actually in that class presentation, and she ran over to check on me. And I'm just like looking around the class, and I locked eyes with the teacher who was staring at me, and I just felt like so embarrassed. The teacher then breaks the silence and goes, "Do you need to go to the nurse's office?" And me laying there, I'm thinking, okay, I felt weird a minute ago, but I feel fine now. So I just go, yes. Because I didn't want to do the fucking presentation. I just wanted to get out of class. So my friend's mom escorts me to the nurse's office. And I was like, oh, thank God I got out of that. But also, what the hell just happened? I'm wrapping up the story pretty quick, but I was basically stuck there for a couple hours after school because my parents were both working. Normally, I would go home with my friend's mom, but because I had a medical emergency, I couldn't leave the school until like an actual legal guardian came and picked me up. So I had to wait like an extra 2 hours after school until my mom got off work and picked me up. So afterwards, we like, I explained what happened. I felt fine, even though, I couldn't go anywhere, but I felt totally fine. We ended up going to the doctor like a week or so later. And it turns out what we believe happened, is that because I was running so hard for so long, and then was in a situation where I went from sitting down to standing up for an extended period of time. Basically what happened is all the blood, or not all the blood, otherwise I would have died, but a lot of the blood was pooling in my feet, because as it turns out, blood vessels are like one-way valves. I'm not going to answer that. So the blood got down to my feet and couldn't get back up to my brain because it was getting stuck in this one-way valve situation. And as he mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, I did notice that my feet felt really heavy. Like yeah, my vision blurred and my vision coned, but I also, like, my feet felt like really swollen. But yeah, ever since then, I think about that every once in a while, about the story where I fainted in the middle of the class. And I got clowned on for that for a while, but it was super scary for a couple of weeks.